Welcome to Issues and Answers with Diane Kinderwater. Issues and Answers is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. And now, Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Kinderwater.
Welcome to the program. I'm Diane Kinderwater. We know women in our society, they have a lot of challenges. If you're a homemaker, you might think, oh, I do most of the work at the home. And if you go out and work and come home, you feel like you're doing most of the work. At least that's my opinion. But if you speak to women in our community, I think they feel like they have kind of a double job, working out in the workforce and then when they come home. And with those double jobs, they have double challenges in their life. And can you imagine if you come from a home that has domestic violence, or you perhaps don't even have a home, what challenges women have? An extra heavy burden. Well, there's been help in our community for women like that, and for women who are marginalized like that, and women who have been incarcerated, perhaps because of the challenges they face, they have gone to jail, they've gone to prison. And when they're released, what do they do? Well, there's help. A lot of different varieties of help, but on the program today, we're going to talk about a Peaceful Habitation, which has been helping women in our community for 20 years. We're going to talk about the challenges women face, especially those in domestic violence situations, those who are homeless, and those who have been incarcerated but want to make a nice, peaceful home for themselves and for their families. So stay with us as we talk about a peaceful habitation and the good it's doing in our community. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the program. I think all of us are looking for peace in our life, aren't we? Especially at this stage when everything is so chaotic in our community, in our world. We just want peace. And of course, peace can often start at home. And that's when we talk about a peaceful habitation. And I have the executive director who founded the program 20 years ago who is with me today. And I appreciate you being here, Leticia, Chavez, Paulette, executive director and founder of a Peaceful Habitation. And we have Jessica Swift, who is a volunteer coordinator with a Peaceful Habitation. And was I correct, Leticia, saying women, is it just me, or do we have an extra burden in this society? Extra duty.
I think you're correct, of course. I'm a woman. And I think we do have extra duties, because not only do we have to birth the babies, then we have to nurture the babies. And then we also, now have to work outside the home. And, but with all that also comes the other challenges. And, we're also human and we also make mistakes. And so those of us that have made mistakes even have extra burdens because we even have to live through the shame and the guilt of the mistakes that we've made,
And that's where, again, your organization is coming. But I just wanted to get a little
Yes.
support there, saying that, what, Jessica, do you feel? I mean, I just feel that so many responsibilities women have. And of course, in the past with our parents, the man went and worked and the woman stayed home with the kids. But now it seems like women have to do both. And it doesn't necessarily lead you into problems, but it's just extra stress and responsibility.
Yes, it is. There's a lot of strain with trying to function with just having normal lives. Yeah.
Right? Actually, Jessica, what is a normal life these days? What is normal these days? You started the program, a Peaceful Habitation. Let's first start. What is a Peaceful Habitation?
A Peaceful Habitation is a Christian organization, Christian nonprofit organization that was established to assist, first of all, justice-involved and women coming out of incarceration. And that we started it because I had gone to prison because of bad choices that I had made. And I ended up losing everything, including parental rights to my only son. So I ended up doing a total of 5 years of incarceration. And while I was there, God changed my life radically. And so in order to help others that were, coming out like I was going to come out. And I kept seeing women coming back to the prison right away, like 2 weeks after they got out. And I was wondering what's missing. So back then, there was not a lot of support for those of us women coming out and seeking, again, faith-based Christian organizations that would help us and, get us started. So I saw the need. And God told me when I was incarcerated, you're going to work with women. And I really fought it, you know, because I had just lived with 600 of them. And then I have 5 sisters, you know, so it was like, oh, Lord. And then I'm a woman. I know all our issues. We have all those, you know, and again, dealing with the shame and the heartache of losing children, of losing relationship, losing our own self. You know, we lose who we are.
Why do you think that happened to you, Leticia, thinking back?
It was the drugs.
Okay.
I used cocaine for the first time, and because I was a very shy individual, that made me very confident, you know, and so then it just kept making me confident. So I was doing all these things that I wouldn't usually do, you know, but, you know, again.
And where did you grow up, Leticia?
I grew up in Las Cruces.
In Las Cruces?
Yeah, but it was up here in the northern part of the state
so
that I started using.
It's the drugs that trapped you.
Yeah, that's trapped me, and again, you know, again, you lose everything. But we know who is there that will give you everything and more.
And how did you turn to God?
I got prayed into jail. I got prayed into jail because I was in and out of jail during that activity, that criminal activity. And
you got prayed into jail?
Yes.
What does that mean, Leticia?
That means that one of the COs, the correctional officers that was working at BCDC back then, that was 98 in that time, right? I'm that old. And it
was just yesterday, Leticia. It was just yesterday.
It seems like it.
Yes.
But so I was in and out, and this time, the corrections officer told me that she had a dream, and had a dream about me specifically, and she had seen me dead in a ditch. So she woke up, started praying for me. 15 minutes before her shift was over, I was in her unit, arrested, under drug watch because I was so much under the influence. And so, yeah, I was prayed into jail. Another corrections officer told me about somebody that loved me in spite of everything that I had done, and that would offer me, you know, life everlasting, and that he just loved me unconditionally. So, hey, I'm like, hey, I'm all for that. And so that's when I accepted Christ there at the jail. And then another CO would disciple me during her graveyard shift. So that's how I learned about the person that gave his best for me when I was at my worst. So.
But that was jail, but then you went, jail is just up to a year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you were in jail for a year, or did you go into prison as well?
No, I was in and out of jail for a total of a year. And then I was sentenced to prison because I didn't take the opportunities that were given me because I was in my addiction, very hard in my addiction. And so I did end up going to prison, but I went as a Christian to prison.
Oh, you had converted to Christianity?
In jail, I did.
In jail?
Mm-hmm.
And so then you were thinking in your mind what you were going to do when you got out of prison.
I was thinking of, first of all, how am I going to serve God in jail, in prison? And I did. I was a chaplain's clerk for 3.5 of the 4 years that I was incarcerated at the prison in Grants.
Oh boy, that's quite a bit.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's top that. Jessica Swift, what would you like to share about your background?
So growing up, I grew up in not a healthy household. There was a lot of partying, and I didn't really want to follow in my parents' footsteps, but I ended up doing it. And I ended up getting addicted to meth when I was 18, and I ended up committing a crime that hurt a lot of people, and I ended up incarcerated for 9.5 years. And I came out to a peaceful habitation, so, and it was the best choice God could have ever made for my life.
When you were in prison for 9.5 years, they gave you choices what to do afterwards? I mean, you probably were under parole or supervision, yes. But you had a choice of where you're going to go.
So I had a choice of 2 different programs, and the other program that I was offered, I wouldn't have had assistance. I wouldn't have had the advantages that a peaceful habitation offered me, and I would have been pretty much just thrown out there on the streets to fend for myself. And so when God opened the door for a peaceful habitation, it was awesome.
Why?
Because they gave me life skills, and they showed me how to save and budget, and they got me a really good job that I kept for 7.5 years. And yeah, I got closer to God, and I met amazing people who are still in my life. And yeah, and then now I work for the program.
Well, I found a job and life skills. You were in prison. People were saying, or God was saying to you, you're going to be serving God, and you didn't really necessarily want to deal with women because you'd been dealing with your sisters and 6 other women in prison. How did a peaceful habitation come about?
It's all God. That's all I can say, is because, first of all, I'm not a college educated individual either. And so he started opening doors, just opening doors. Like, he put 2 other women in my path that had the same calling, you know, for a transitional housing, for a Christian transitional home for women who were released from incarceration. One had already been serving in the jails. The other one had been serving in the prisons through Kairos Ministry. The other one, Donna Jennings and Pat Conkling, those were my other co-founders. You know, one was the funding. She had the funding and had some experience. The other one was very smart. Pat was brilliant. She is a brilliant individual. Donna Jennings, unfortunately, has gone to go with the Lord. And I was the one with the lived experience. You know, I had been in prison. So
when you were released from prison, were you under parole and probation? And where did you go?
I went to a halfway home where it was very difficult for me, because I went from sleeping on a cot, and I thought this home was going to be good and supportive for me, but it wasn't. It was not very structured, and so I went from sleeping on a cot to sleeping on the floor on a mattress, you know. But it was a good teaching time for me, because I saw what we women need. You know, it showed me what I needed to really do. We need structure still when we get out. We don't need to get out and just think that we could just go back and do everything right away, because it's overwhelming.
How long were you in that situation after prison?
A year.
1 year.
With parole, yes. Mm-hmm.
And what did you do after that?
After I got up, well, again, this is all a God thing, because even while I was on parole, I was allowed to go back into the prison and do a little bit of ministry for Kairos Prison Ministry. And then I met my husband, my future husband, during that Kairos Prison Ministry. I was still on parole. He's never been in trouble. It all just happened really quickly with me, and I ended up getting married right after I got off parole. And my husband and I just celebrated 22 years of marriage. I've been out of incarceration since 2002. And so it's been a long journny, you know. But
you started the program like a year after you were done with the parole.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Had you worked? Did they help you find whoever helped you? Did you help find a job after?
Nobody helped me find a job. Back then, there wasn't that many services for us.
Okay.
But I got a job when I went to church on a Wednesday. Somebody was saying, "Hey, my boss needs some help," and I said, "That's my job." And sure enough, Construction Seminars hired me. He didn't even know me, and he had faith in me, and ended up he was a Christian. So, you know, God just continued opening doors. And even though there was a lot of no's, when God says yes, it's going to be yes, and that's it.
And so 20 years ago, you started a Peaceful Habitation.
Yes, ma'am.
And what did that involve? Finding a location, a house, funding?
Searching, getting so many no's, being so disappointed. Not in my backyard, not in my backyard. But again, we know that when God wants something done, He's going to make it work. You know, He opens the doors that no man can close. So one Sunday after church, my husband and I went to go look at a house. And this little landlord, an amazing little Chinese lady, I just love Mrs. Wu. And I told her all about it. I had already been told no, I don't know how many times. And she says, "I like what you're doing. I'm going to rent to you." And we rented that house for 5 years.
And what did you do with the house?
Well, at the home, all the rooms were set up for adoption so that churches and other supporters could make the rooms beautiful for our ladies, because, that was my objective, was to have them come out to a beautiful home and to have the things that they needed when they got out. We gave them clothing, we gave them hygiene, we gave them anything and everything that they needed when they got out. And then we helped them get a job. And then we, again, like Jessica says, we helped them with, life skills workshops, life skill resources. We didn't let them walk their new life alone. And even now I have graduates coming back and, "Miss Leticia, can you help me with this?" Or, "Miss Leticia, how can I help?" Things like that.
And how many were in the home at a time?
At one time, each home would house about 6.
6?
6. Yeah,
But
because
they
we
cooked
wanted
for
it at home.
themselves. They cooked for you gave them bedding.
Everybody took
Okay.
turns cooking, because we wanted, if they didn't know how to cook, they're going to learn how to cook, because we're not always going to be around. And we always directed them to Jesus, not to me, not to APH. It's to Jesus, because he's the one that's never going to leave them or forsake them.
And you said now you've changed the program or expanded the program to have a wellness center in addition to the home.
Yes.
You're nodding your head. Why, Jessica?
So we did the wellness center so that way we could offer resources for those individuals that are out on the streets or who are marginalized, and even people who are on probation and parole that don't know where to go. We can help them with different things.
Where's the wellness center?
It's in the Northeast Heights.
You can sit in it. It's 9910 Indian School Road, Northeast.
But that's open. I mean, it's open from 9 to 4.
9 to 4.
9 to
Yes.
4 every day. What types of things do they do at the wellness center?
Well, Tuesdays and Thursdays we have workshops, all kinds of different workshops, life skill workshops. Again, Money and Me, MRT. MRT is moral recognition therapy. So, changing, helping people change the way they look at life, or
What is it called?
Moral recognition therapy.
Moral recognition therapy.
But we're all certified in moral recognition therapy. She's a certified support worker. I'm a certified peer support worker. Georgette, who is also a staff member, she's also a peer worker. So we help individuals. Now at the center, we'll help any marginalized individual that comes through there, anybody that needs help. Anybody, if they need help signing up for income support division, we'll help them. If they need to sign up for Social Security, we can help them. If they need help finding clothing, food boxes, all those resources. And because we've been doing this for a while, or I've been doing this for a while, we've been all over the state. And like I said, I have resources all over the state.
Where do you work, Jessica?
I work at the main office, which is at the 9910 Indian School location.
And what do you do there?
I am the admin assistant and volunteer coordinator. So
what do the volunteers do?
They come in and they do mentoring or Bible studies. They can offer different groups, and coming and cooking with the ladies. We do gardening.
Do people actually just drop in? I mean, they're referred from someone else, but women just drop in
They're more than welcome to. Yes.
To the wellness center.
Yes.
And what do they say? What do they say to you?
Usually they just say thank you. And what a blessing it is to have somebody to help them. Yeah. That's what they usually say.
Is there food there for them as well?
We do. Sometimes we'll have like little snacks and things like that, but we also sometimes have budgets to, if they need a gift card from Walmart for some food. We even help them with hygiene. We have people that donate hygiene. We've had a group that made 10 laundry baskets full of all the necessities: laundry detergent, dryers, dryer sheets, dishwashing detergent, softener, all those things, and they give them to us, and we give them to our ladies and our people that we serve. I'm serious. Our volunteers have been donating all these years, and they're so helpful. Like when our ladies graduate after 6 months or a year, we help them find affordable, supportive housing and in a safe place. We try our hardest, but 3 weeks later, all their apartments are furnished because of our donors and our volunteers. We just put out a need. Oh, so-and-so graduate. Hey, let's get her little apartment furnished, and all of them have been furnished.
Jessica, you're nodding your head. So when did you leave incarceration?
So I got out August 30th of 2016.
Okay.
And then I graduated the program March 1st of 2017.
And then you had a good job for 7.5 years,
Yes.
you said. But what about a place to stay?
So the apartment that I got into whenever I graduated the program, I'm still in. And of course, I still have the majority of the furnishings and stuff that they gave me. So
They helped. The volunteers helped furnish it.
yes,
Helped you with your wardrobe for work.
yes, yes.
Helped you with, of course, finding the job, bedding, laundry detergent.
Yes. It was amazing. Like, I didn't want for anything when I moved into my apartment.
How did that make you feel?
Cared about.
cared about. That's important.
We love them, just like Jesus loves them.
And you're moving on to doing something rurally?
Well,
Local?
we've done rural outreach. Yeah, we try to connect with churches outside, our urban areas here. So we try to go do outreaches out there as well, because New Mexico is very rural. We're considered a frontier state, so we need to reach those people that can't get to the city. And so we want to do it. We want to reach as many people as possible. And I know we're a small group, but there's a lot of agencies now that are out there helping. And and again, so we have to do that. And usually we, as a Christian organization, aren't eligible for a lot of funding. So that's why we do our fundraisers, so we've done an annual fashion show for many years. We used to sell calendars, and now we're going to be having our big gala December 6th. That's going to be our 20th anniversary gala. And so, we're looking for sponsors, looking for donors, looking for all the graduates. If all the graduates that can see us on TV, we want you to come and join us, because we have had several over the years. And like I said, all we want to do is just continue spreading the love of Christ to anybody that's in need.
If you didn't have, perhaps, Peaceful Habitation, do you think your life would be different now?
Absolutely. I honestly think I would have probably ended up back in prison and would have been one of the ones that was in the recidivism situation.
But they offered you a lot.
Yes.
But also the caring is perhaps the key to what they offer?
Yes. Just knowing that somebody is there to listen and understand what you're going through and to help you along the way, to give you advice, and just...
Wow.
Yeah.
And the thing with us too is there's no judgment. There's some places that won't take certain crimes, certain charges, and I used to be that way. I'm not even going to lie, full disclosure. But God changed my heart, because we all of us
Are sinners.
are sinners, and we all deserve a chance.
And you're offering them that. How does this make you feel when you hear Jessica say she may have returned to prison if it weren't for a Peaceful Habitation?
I thank God we were there for her, because we never know why if God wanted us to be there even just for her. We don't know. We never know why God has us do the things that we're supposed to be doing, because if it was just for her, then our obedience has to be just for her.
Leticia Chavez, Paulette, founder of a Peaceful Habitation. There's a lot of other groups now involved, but they take Medicare, Medicaid, or government. Mm-hmm. But you don't take any government.
Well, we get some, but you're limited on how you're using, and it was just in the last 2-3 years that we've been able to get funding from Behavioral Health Services Division as a wellness center. It has evolved, and they've given us that. And because at the Wellness Center, we don't require them to be Christian or go to church or anything. We still extend the love of Christ, but they don't have to go to church or, anything like that. Whereas at the home, if you're going to live at the home, well, yeah, we're going to, do devotions, and we're going to go to church.
You've got a lot of contributions from churches, local churches.
Most in the past, most of our support was from churches.
But
yes.
You're having your big gala.
Yes.
And it's an afternoon gala,
yes.
which is nice. Nice. Like a luncheon gala.
Yes, yes.
Tell me a little bit when that's going to be, and if they miss it this year, you'll have an event next year as well.
Sure. It's December 6th. It's on a Saturday. It's going to be at the Embassy Suites downtown on Woodward. And we're hoping that all of our churches, all of our supporters from the last 20 years, that all of them will get together, or not all of them, but well, yeah, anybody that has ever supported us, get a table, fill it, and come celebrate the 20 years with us. We're hoping to have like a great line of music. We're always known to have themes. So this year's theme is Winter's Glow, but we've had all kinds of themes, like the fabulous Roaring 20s, all.
You're having fun with this.
We've always had fun, and it's been amazing. And again, God always shows up.
The concern about drugs in our community, that leads to a lot of women going to prison, or the domestic violence in their home, or the homelessness. And we hear in the news all the time that things are getting worse. What can you say to people out there that you've experienced this? It's something you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy, to be trapped with this drug addiction. What could people do to prevent getting into the trouble you got into?
Choose better. If there's something that's causing strife in your life, then the best thing you can do is search out somebody that's going to be there for you. If you are having trouble with addiction, then turn to somebody, because going down that path is not good.
No.
And it never turns out good. You either end up dead or you end up in prison. And the ones that can turn away from it, I hope that they do.
But it's with other people's help.
Yes.
Jessica Swift. Okay.
Yes.
To do it, because it's an addiction, a medical addiction. If you're addicted, it's tough to break from it.
Yes.
Of course, one thing is never to start.
Yes.
Who would try to be strong. So you have to be strong, I imagine.
Yes.
Anything else you'd like to share? And thank you so much for sharing your story with us and your smile.
I just want to thank Peaceful Habitation for everything that they've done for me, and God, because I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for them and God.
Very good. Jessica Swift, thank you for being
you.
part of this program. Really, thanks for coming here and for smiling and for giving us some hope. That's because we know there's problems out there. We know. But there's hope, there's some hope and help. Again, say no to drugs.
Yes.
Be strong.
And be honest. Because you know what? If you don't ask for help, nobody knows that you need it. So in prison, they say closed mouths don't get fed. You know, so you have to open your mouth and say, I need help. And there is hope. There's hope. There's always hope with Jesus. You know, and so we just can't give up. That was one of my mantras, is like, never give up. Never, ever, ever give up.
Never give up. Leticia, Chavez, Paulette, you haven't given up. 20 years and going on for 20 more. And always a different theme at their fundraiser. Can't wait to see it. Thank you both for being a part of this program. And thanks for KCHF TV for bringing you the show Issues and Answers. Make it a great week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinderwater is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. To comment on today's program, email us at info@kchftv.org or call us at 505-345-1991. Join us again for Issues and Answers with Diane Kinderwater.